Quick note for anyone watching, editing Sahara here. I noticed as I was editing that my microphone on my headphones was basically in my braid, so there's a little bit of scratchiness in the audio. So just a quick heads up. So, alright, enjoy the video. Bye! Hey guys, so today's video is going to be super short, like really short, but that's because I really didn't film too much today, just because there wasn't really anything to film. Okay, so I started off my day, I drove my brother to school, and then I went to school myself, and then I just had a normal day of school, you know, everything the same. And then I had a vocal field trip today after school. So we went to a local university and we sang with their choir and a choir from another high school. And so that leads me into kind of what I wanted to talk about, and that's jealousy and then patience. So when we went to the concert, the first choir up was the high school choir, and I feel like anyone who performs with someone who is in the same grade as them, or but from a different school, or people they don't know, they secretly kind of hope that they're slightly better. Well, I mean that your group is slightly better than the other group. And so when the other group is extremely talented, and there was no reason for doubt that they'd be fantastic, you're extra blown away, I think. And it makes you more nervous, because especially when you have to follow them up. So like, we watched the other high school choir first. It was them and then us and then the choir from the university, and we were just blown away. It was fantastic. I think the only thing that we definitely did get better at was facial expressions and emotions, but their actual vocal performance was superb. It was fantastic. And so that kind of led us to be like, oh goodness, I don't know if I want to go on stage anymore, because how are we supposed to follow that up? How is that possible? Our songs are not as complicated as that. They could probably do our songs 100 times better than we could do them. But then we got up there, and we did it, and we did them very well. There were still spots that need to be fixed, but our main concert is not till next week, so we have a little bit of extra time. I'm not too worried about it. We just kind of had to believe in ourselves and know that just because they're at that level does not mean that we're not at that same level. And the thing to keep in mind that I haven't mentioned yet is the fact that their choir was double to 2.5 times the size of our choir. They were a very large group, and it was also a group that you had to audition to get into. My choir is a choir that we have 4 levels of choir at my school, and so you just have to build up in those levels to get to the level that we're at. Well, the level that we're at, but like, you have had to be in choir for so many years. So you basically are auditioning for the group by staying in choir and doing all the work and doing everything. And so just because they are bigger than us, just because they may have had a fantastic performance, does not mean we're any less than them. Does not mean we work less than them. Does not mean anything. We're great. And we just need to remember that. And yes, we just need to practice some more on some of the songs, but we did not have a bad performance in any sense. So, but yeah, the other choir that performed was the choir from the university, and they were good. They were a chamber choir though, so everyone in the choir was about like 30 or older, so I wasn't surprised. And so like, we can't really compare ourselves to them just because they're adults. And not that like we can't be as good as adults, it's just the voice doesn't fully mature until you're like in your mid-20s. So my voice is probably not going to be the same as when I'm that age, so I have no idea. But the other thing of patience the main thing of patience I want to talk about was I had a dilemma today. I had the option to drive one of my friends to get food before our local field trip. But that would have meant that I would have driven someone before my 6 months were up. And some people, that's not a big deal. I have several friends who have driven me probably before the 6 months were up, or a bunch of different situations. But it was one of those things that, like, I was kind of nervous about, but, like, I was like, okay, I'm just going to get them food. We're going somewhere I've been 1,000 times. I know how to get there. There's no way I could mess up this. But I had a suspicion, so I asked my mom first whether she thought it was a good idea, and she said no, for that reason and for a couple other reasons. But after I've been I was kind of thinking this in the back of my head, but after she said no and it was like a done deal, I was thinking about it a little bit more, and it's like, well, had I done that, me and some of my other friends have been planning what we're going to do when my 6 months are up, because then I can drive people and we can go make a day out of the day my 6 months are up and kind of all hang out together. And so I feel like if I would have driven someone before that time was up, it wouldn't be as special as it's going to be, I guess. And so just having patience in the fact that, like, things that I want will come in time. And honestly, my 6 months are up on December 27th, and that's not too far from now. So I can wait that long. That's not a big deal at all. So, yeah. Well, so I guess this video was actually a little bit longer than I expected. It's almost 7 minutes now, but alright. Good night, and I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll vlog a little bit more. I'm going to go to 0 period, and then before 0 period ends, I'm going to go with my assistant principal to my old elementary school. And I'm going to go visit the 5th graders there, because the school that I go to, you have to apply to get into. And so we're going to go introduce my school to those kids and basically tell them that, like, hey, if you like the arts, if you're interested in cool stuff, come to our school. And so me being an old kid from that school, it's really cool to, like, go back and experience, like, be on the fourth pudding end instead of the receiving end of that presentation. So that's really cool. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.